The last time I was on camera, I was talking about strength training and about what it means to build your body at an age when most people are being told to slow down. And somewhere in that conversation, a thought surfaced that I couldn't shake. I kept coming back to it because strength, real strength, isn't just about what happens in the gym. There's something else we have to reckon with. And for women, especially, it goes much deeper than muscle. I said my age out loud recently. 70. And the moment after I said it, something moved in me. It wasn't shame exactly. And I don't think it was fear. But it was something close to hesitation. And I found myself asking why. Why, after everything I've lived and built and become, does saying my age still feel like it requires a kind of courage? I know I'm not the only one who feels this. A lot of women don't say their age freely. Not at 40, not at 50, and certainly not at 60 or 70. We talk around it, we soften it, and when we do say it, we almost always follow it with an explanation. I feel younger. I don't look it. I'm still active. As though the number itself needs to be defended. As though we owe people justification for the years we've actually lived. We were trained into this. From a very young age, a woman's value gets quietly tied to how she looks, how young she appears, how desirable she is to the world around her. Aging inside that framework is framed as loss. Loss of beauty, loss of relevance, loss of the right to take up space. Men grow distinguished with age. Women just age. That difference in language is not accidental. And it shapes the way we see ourselves over decades. What happens over time is that the messaging stops being something you hear from the outside and starts being something you feel on the inside. You begin to wonder, if I say my age, will people see me differently? Will they assume I'm slower, less capable, less sharp? Will they have already decided something about me before I even finish my sentence? These aren't vain concerns. They're concerns about identity and about whether you will be received as the full person you actually are. And here's where the contradiction lives. At 70, I am stronger than I have ever been. Physically, yes, which is something I talk about a lot. And I mean that literally. But also mentally, spiritually. There is a clarity that comes with time. There is a kind of resilience that can only be built through experience, through surviving things, through choosing to keep going anyway. And yet, the culture whisper says, you are past your prime. So you have this collision between what you know to be true, and I guess true about yourself, and what the world keeps insisting must be true about a woman your age. I sat with that collision and I asked myself an honest question. What am I actually hesitant about? And when I got quiet enough to hear the answer, it wasn't simply about what other people think. It was this: will saying my age change how I'm received? Will people listen differently once they know? Will they dismiss what I'm saying before I even finish saying it? That is a real concern. It's not imagined. And I think many women who have ever hesitated over this question know exactly what I mean. But here is what I've come to. This is bigger than one woman being uncomfortable saying a number. If women who are 60 and 70 and 80 are quietly hiding their age, we are reinforcing the very narrative we say we disagree with. We are functionally agreeing, even if unintentionally, that the years we've lived reduce our value. And I do not believe that is true. What I believe is the opposite. But a belief that you only hold in private is not really a belief. What if age is not something to soften or explain away, but something to anchor into? What if instead of, I'm 70, but, we simply said, I'm 70, and let that stand without apology, without comparison, without the justification that follows it around like a shadow? So, I'm saying it again. I'm 70. I'm still working, still thinking, still training, still growing. And the question I want to leave with you is not why women hide their age. The question is what would actually change in us and around us if we stopped.